We are at episode 10 of the Lifted to Life by Danna B podcast. Can you believe that? I appreciate each and every one of you for listening. I thank you for your emails. I thank you for your messages. I thank you for sharing this podcast because you know, and I know that we are on a path of self-care, loving ourselves more, and discovering our authentic self. Let's get into today's episode. Today's episode is Stop Waiting for People to Give You Permission to Be Happy. This was a lesson I'd finally learned in 2013. I didn't understand what joy and happiness meant until 2013. I had completed the Remarkable Women's program. I was now known as Danna Lifted, hence the name for this podcast. I was waiting for the finalization of my divorce. That day of my divorce hearing was hilarious. I have to tell you about that story later. Let's just say I was glad my sister took one for the team. I was in a new relationship. I had rekindled with an ex. I was happy, full of joy, and I loved this new me, and so did my family. So in 2013, I was excited because my birthday was coming up and I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do what I wanted to do. It was the first time that I had that thought of doing exactly what I wanted to do. How was I going to celebrate my birthday? How often have you said, I'm going to do what I want to do? Some of you may say never. You've never asked yourself, what do I want to do? Because you are waiting for people to give you permission to do what you want to do and waiting for them to give you permission to be happy. So while sitting at my desk at work, an ad for Broadway.com pops up on my computer. And at that moment, I realized that I had never seen a Broadway show. I was 47 years old, about to be 48, and I had never seen a Broadway show. So I decided at that moment that I would like to see The Lion King. It was and still is the most popular show on Broadway. So the moment I made that decision, I called my boo at that time and asked if he wanted to go. And his response was, no, not really. Now, if it were the old me, I would have responded with, what? Why not? Then I would have spent time trying to convince him why he should go, possibly wasting my breath and my energy, trying to get him to change his mind. And what would be the point? But I'm a new person. I'm Danna Lifted, and it's me doing what I want to do. It was at that moment when I said, well, I'm going for my birthday. Long pause, and he said, okay. So I purchased my ticket, and I was super excited that I was finally going to see a Broadway show. About a week later, he calls me and he's asking me all types of questions. What time is the show? How long was the show? How was I getting there? So I told him, I said, I think the show was like 3 hours, 2, maybe 3 hours. I told him I was taking Amtrak, that when I got there, I would grab some lunch and head to the theater afterwards. He asked, what time was I coming back? I told him, I don't know. But I answered each question. And then I was curious to know why he was asking so many questions. He then tells me that people had told him some wonderful things about the show, and was it too late for me to get him a ticket? So I told him it wasn't. I got him a ticket and we both made our way to New York City to see The Lion King. Walking into the theater, I felt like a big kid. Walking past the stands that sold the show's memorabilia, thinking I want a shirt, I want a magnet, I want a bag, I want a cup. So we make it to our seats and we're ready to see the show, waiting for the show to begin. And when the show started, if you've ever seen The Lion King, you know how it starts out. The animals make their way down the aisle as they're singing, and I start to cry, hoping nobody noticed, but understand that they were tears of joy and tears of happiness because I was doing what was making me happy, and I was doing it without permission. And most importantly, I was doing what I wanted to do. I would adopt this premise and this notion each and every single day. every single day, especially being an empty nester and over my 50s, that my happiness is important and that I did not need permission to be happy. Now, understand that happiness comes from within. When you have that state of mind, happiness and pure joy, you don't look for people to provide that for you because it's in you. You already have it. It's a part of your DNA of just being happy and being joyful, waking up to that feeling every single day. You may not know or understand this, but you will. You have a life that is to be lived to the fullest. It's not about possessions. It's not about looking at your favorite influencer as they post their daily vlog of this aesthetically pleasing, non-existent life. Happiness is not an object. It truly is a state of mind. So why do people rely on others for their happiness? Relying on others for their happiness rather than cultivating it within can stem from various factors like low self-esteem, fear of abandonment. Another factor is a history of emotional neglect. Humans are social creatures and healthy relationships are vital for our well-being. But solely depending on others for your happiness can be a detriment. It can lead to codependency and unhealthy relationship patterns. So here are some reasons why people tend to look for permission to be happy from others. Low self-esteem and self-worth. When individuals don't feel good about themselves, they may seek validation and happiness from external sources, such as the approval or attention of others. Now, I used to be that girl. I was once that girl who had low self-esteem and did not understand my self-worth. And I was looking for that in bad relationship after bad relationship after bad relationship, giving myself, begging for that attention, begging for someone to love me, begging for someone to accept me, to care for me, to just treat me whatever way they wanted to treat me, and not clearly understanding who I was and having a valuable understanding of that I am in control of my destiny. Fear of abandonment. A deep-seated fear of being alone or unloved can drive individuals to excessively rely on others for reassurance and emotional support, fearing that any perceived lack of attention means rejection. People tend to become people pleasers in order to keep people in their lives. This eventually becomes a one-way transactional relationship. Like I said before, again, having that low self-esteem and not understanding my self-worth, saying anything, doing anything. If I say it like this, maybe he'll like me. If I say it like this, maybe they'll like me. If I do this, maybe I can get in with the cool kids. Or if I, even at my big age, over 40, having that mentality was truly the worst thing that I could do for myself. Emotional neglect in childhood. Individuals who experienced emotional neglect in childhood may have learned to prioritize the needs of others over their own, leading to a pattern of seeking external validation and struggling to find happiness within themselves. Most of us as kids, we are still dealing with that childhood trauma, childhood abandonment, not feeling loved enough by our parents, feeling neglected by our parents, not being nurtured by our parents. Those things are the catalyst in trying to just roughly asking for that level of permission to be happy. Codependency. This involves an unhealthy reliance on others for emotional fulfillment when one person's happiness is contingent on the other's actions and approval. Again, that all stems from low self-esteem and not understanding your self-worth. Cultural influence. Modern culture often promotes the idea that happiness is tied to external factors like possessions, achievements, or romantic relationships, potentially reinforcing the belief that happiness is something that can be found outside of oneself. I have noticed that a lot of people, or a lot of these influencers, they get to a certain point online when they have their millions and millions of followers. But then they also find themselves at a point where they are not happy. I mean, they get online and they show you all the things that they buy, the bags, the makeup, the luxury fragrances, the luxury clothes, the expensive clothes. And they're showing you this one side of them. And then they get online months later, a year or so later, asking you to, pray for them, or asking you, or getting online and crying. I can't stand it. Getting online and crying and roughly all for likes, views, and comments. That cultural influence for people to love me, like me, but not having a love for themselves. Lack of self-awareness. Individuals who are not in tune with their own needs and desires may struggle to find happiness independently, as they haven't developed the ability to self-soothe or engage in activities that bring them joy. Again, that low self-esteem, that not knowing your self-worth, just particularly doing things to get that attention of that individual, stupid things. Boy, some of the stupid things that I used to do just to get attention, not understanding my happiness and my self-worth. So it's important to recognize that while healthy relationships are crucial for well-being, cultivating inner happiness and self-reliance is essential for long-term emotional health. So let's talk about the steps that you need to take to garner that happiness from within. First, you must cultivate self-awareness. Reflect on your thoughts and emotions. Pay attention to your feelings, your thoughts, and reactions in different situations. Totally agree with this 100%. Do not suppress your feelings. If you are angry about something, sometimes you got to let that anger out. If you're sad about something, those tears are cleansing. Do not suppress that. I remember when my uncle and my good girlfriend passed away back to back. When I tell you, at first I thought I was okay when I thought I was going to be okay. I never knew grief until my uncle and my good girlfriend passed away. And one of my friends who is a therapist, she specifically said to me, recognize those emotions that you are feeling. When you are ready to, when you feel that sense of tears coming on, you cry, you let those tears flow. When that laughter comes, you laugh. But any time that you are in that space where those emotions, do not suppress them. Because that makes it all the more worse. Especially, it can make you sick internally. Identify your values and passions. Understand what truly matters to you and what brings you joy. My family brings me so much joy. I'm always excited when we have family get-togethers. If it's for birthdays, if it's for just anything. We get together to do anything. If it's food involved, we're there. Specifically during these summer months, if it's crabs involved, we are there, honey. Buying a bushel of crabs and just sitting down with an ice cold Pepsi or ice cold glass of iced tea with some freshly steamed crabs and just eating until our heart's content. We celebrate everything in this family. We celebrate life. We celebrate love. We celebrate each other. Lately, we're going to celebrate my niece's engagement. But this is what we do. Our family reunion is coming up. Super excited to get together. My family brings me so much joy. Recognize your strengths and weaknesses. Be honest with yourself about your abilities and areas where you can grow. Reading is fundamental. And I'm not talking drag race reading. I'm always curious about everything. Different cultures, different foods, different religions. I'm always reading about history. I love history. I love learning about the different histories of different cultures, how things came about. Always feed your mind. Even at my big age of 52, I went back to college to finish my bachelor's degree because number one, it was important for me to finish what I started. And I'm excited to do that because it allows me to learn something new each and every semester. Granted, yes, it's a part of the requirements to meet that bachelor's degree program, but it's still something that I'm continuously absorbing like a sponge, trying to learn as much information as I possibly can. Now, I'm sure you've heard this multiple times. Practice gratitude. Keep a gratitude journal. Write down things you are thankful for each day. Now, I'm sure you've had to write down in a gratitude journal over the years. Continue to do that. I mean, I still do it each and every single day as I'm writing in my journals. And if you feel like you don't have anything to be grateful for, hello, duh, you just breathed in and you breathed out as you were listening to this podcast. That's the first thing you should be grateful for. Life. Express gratitude to others. Let people know you appreciate them and their impact on your life. I always tell people, coworkers, family members, friends, I appreciate them. I appreciate them because of what they pour into me or what they say to me. I do. I tell people constantly whenever I'm out and about, if I'm out and about with friends, if I'm out and about with family, just letting them know you appreciate them. They don't have to do something for you by giving you money or any type of object, but just the fact that they're there. When my good girlfriend passed away, my sisters were there for me because they knew that I had lost a very important person in my life. And my sisters and my mom, they showed up for me when my girlfriend passed away. And it was the most, I don't wish that on anybody. Grief is real. That's all I'm going to say. Grief is real. And my family, when they showed up for me during my girlfriend's passing, I so appreciated what they were doing for me. And just their presence alone was so appreciative. Appreciate the simple things. Notice and savor the small joys and positive moments in your daily life. Oh, yes, the small moments and small joys. This morning, as I was making my way to the metro to get on the train to go to work, a butterfly, a beautiful butterfly was flying in front of me. And those are the smallest things that I appreciate. The beauty of knowing what that butterfly was before it transformed into that butterfly. It was a caterpillar on the ground and now it has its wings and it's flying freely. Those are the smallest things and the simplest things that I enjoy. Good food, honey. Let me tell you, another thing that I love when I'm visiting my family, because they live in the DMV area, but they live in Baltimore. And I live close to DC. So whenever I'm in Baltimore, I have to stop and get me a snowball all the time. Listen, if you've never had a snowball before in your life, you are missing out. And it's the smallest things. Every time I go into Baltimore, I got to get a snowball or I got to get a cupcake from one of my favorite bakeries. And it's the smallest things like that that bring me so much joy. Develop self-compassion. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding. Be gentle with yourself, especially during challenging times. Definitely. Listen, if you know that social media is hindering your mental health, get the hell off of social media. Get off of it. Back away from it. I've had to tell my coworker and my friend, because she would come to work all the time talking about this current administration. Number 47 this, number 47 that, number 47 this. Girl, you see what number 47 doing? Do me a favor and turn off the TV. Get off social media. Do you see how it's really, really doing you more harm than good? And eventually I said, there should be no more news outlet that you should be watching. No more. Turn it off. Give yourself that kindness and that understanding for your mental health purposes to just step away. Step away, because we already know the nonsense that number 47 is going to bring. Why do you keep tapping into it? Stop it. Tap out. Seriously. Challenge negative self-talk. Replace self-criticism with positive affirmations and encouragement. Amen. Hallelujah. That is the absolute truth, honey. If nobody speaks life over you, speak it over yourself. Hello. Give yourself a hug every single day and say, I love you. Give yourself a hug and say, I'm sorry. In our previous episodes, I asked the question, do you owe yourself an apology? Hello. Speak life over yourself. Say, I love you. Or do what AB used to say in that movie The Help. You is kind, you is smart, you is important. Hello? Forgive yourself for past mistakes. As I said before, you owe yourself an apology, and you do. Say you're sorry. I remember when I said apologize to myself, child, when I tell you those tears, they were coming heavy. Because I knew that I owed myself an apology. Even I owed my girls an apology as well, my children, for what we were enduring with my ex-husband. But yes, forgive yourself for past mistakes, honey. Let the past be in the past. Build positive relationships. Connect with loved ones. Spend quality time with friends and family who support and uplift you. Amen. Yes. As I stated, me and my family, we get together to just enjoy food, and we celebrate each other. We celebrate each other. Anything that happened in our lives, if it's a promotion on your job, my sister bought a house, celebrate. My niece got engaged, celebrating. My daughter won a hackathon, celebrating. We celebrate everything. We celebrate everything. You got a new car? We celebrating. You got a dog? We celebrating. We celebrate everything. If it's food related, we gonna celebrate. Surround yourself with positive influence. Seek out people who are optimistic, supportive, and inspire you to be your best self. Oh, yes. One of my good friends inspired me to go back to school. She said to me, you are closer to finishing your bachelor's degree than you were before. Right? What is it? I got 7 classes to go. See, now I'm counting the classes. I'm not counting the credits. I'm counting the classes. And she told me, you are closer. You are closer. And I tried going to other schools, but then the other school said I would have to do this many credits and blah, 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 blah. It was just too much. She said, just go back to where it started and finish it there. And I appreciated that about her because she was pushing me. How's school? Every time I would talk to her, every time. Now the semester doesn't start till the end of August, and I'm sure I will hear from her. How's school? How the classes? How's your professors? Mama gonna push me, and I appreciate that about her as a friend. Last but not least, take care of your physical health. Eat nutritious foods. Nourish your body with healthy meals and snacks. Now, I'm over 50 and I've had to get a nutritionist. Yes. And what I do love about my nutritionist is that my nutritionist has taught me how to enjoy new tastes. My palate has expanded. There were certain things that she would suggest that I would try, and I don't want to try that. And then I would try it out and go, oh, okay, that's pretty good. And then I would, of course, you got to doctor things up. And she would just have me trying different things. And I've noticed that my eating habits for certain foods, junk food, has changed. And I do love that about her. Getting up in the morning and making sure that I start my day off right with that protein, because I was not getting enough protein in my diet. And now doing that, drinking my orange juice, taking my vitamins, every single thing, because I'm 52 and I want to live to see 102. Maybe 105. Who knows? 110. Engage in regular exercise. Physical activity can improve your mood and energy levels. Now, I do have to do better with this. My bike is still sitting on the deck, collecting dust and getting cobwebs over it. I need to take my bike out, and where I live, there's a gym nearby, and I do. Now, I do while I'm in the office. I do walk a lot while I'm in the office because my office is on the waterfront. So I do walk along the waterfront during my lunch breaks. And I walk a lot during the day because I'm up and down from my desk, and I'm trying to use my standing desk more while I'm in the office. So yeah, I could do better in the exercise realm. I could. Get enough sleep. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night to support your physical and mental well-being. Honey, let me tell you, I love my sleep. I don't play about my sleep. I don't. Because of my work schedule, I wind down starting at like 7 p.m. when I walk through the door, and I sleep good. I sleep good. Now, if you are perimenopausal and menopausal, you understand that sleep is difficult to do. But what I have done is, yes, I take melatonin and I take magnesium. Hence the reason why I sleep like a baby at night, and I do sleep good. I do my best to make sure that I get the number of hours of sleep necessary to have a well-rested evening so that I wake up refreshed and ready to go. That's it. So this week, I ask that you write all the things that you are grateful for. What are the things that bring you joy? I ask that you write these things down. And the first thing is just be grateful to be alive. Despite everything that's going on around you, grateful to be alive. See, started the list for you right there. So before I end today's episode, I want to read an excerpt from Journey to the Heart by Melody Beattie. And this excerpt is titled, What Would Make You Happy? Why don't you make yourself happy? Did someone tell you you couldn't be happy? Couldn't let life help you out? It doesn't matter who told you you couldn't have what you wanted. What matters is if you're still telling yourself that now. Yes, there are many situations in life in which we need to go without, do what needs to be done, get the job done. There are times when a particular purpose is served by depriving ourselves. But there are also situations, many more than we think, in which we can have what we want. There are moments when what we want matters. Look into your heart, ask yourself what you want, what would feel good, what would bring joy. Is anything to be gained by depriving yourself a while longer? Get creative. Look around. What are some ways you could give yourself what you want? What could you do to create your life more to your liking? Giving yourself what you want isn't selfish. It teaches others they can have more of what they want from life too. Use your imagination. Set yourself free. Let yourself see the pictures and feel the emotions of what would make you happy. Then take a moment, pause, and smile. You're beginning to get a glimpse of all you can have from God. That ends today's episode, and I thank you all for listening. Like, share, and rate this podcast. I appreciate you that we have made it to episode 10. Thank you all so much. And remember, it's about your happiness. You don't need permission from anybody to be happy.